Ukrainian defense forces have carried out another attack on a Russian military facility located in the occupied Crimean peninsula. The footage of the attack was recorded and shared by Russian soldiers present in the area. As seen in the released footage, one of the drones struck an ammunition depot, causing explosions. In a state of panic and alarm, Russian soldiers attempted to shoot down the drones. Although one of the drones was shot down, shrapnel injured some of the occupying soldiers in the area.
Смотри, снижается, гондон. Бах, еще.
Сейчас, подожди, давай я сниму. Надо же видео. Вон он идет, Дим, идет! Вон он, над лесом! Поймал! Ебашь его! Ебать! Ебать, они тут хуярят! Есть! Есть, нахуй! Есть, нахуй! Есть! Докладывай, что я... Стой! Есть, нахуй! Ебать! Осколки, нахуй! Ебать, посыпало нахуй! Еще есть!
The front in Sumy Oblast is shifting in favor of Ukraine. Even Russian Z resources admit the Ukrainian armed forces have achieved significant success, pushing the enemy out of previously captured positions. This was reported by the Z resource Northern Channel associated with the Russian military. According to him, Ukrainian defenders managed to fully restore control over the village of Kondratovka. The situation there is critical for the Russian armed forces. In Sumy Oblast, the Ukrainian armed forces managed to take full control of Kondratovka. The fate of our groups, which were previously surrounded on the southern outskirts, is currently unknown, writes Z Channel. In addition, the situation of the Russian army in the Yunakovka area has worsened. Our forces had to retreat from several positions, and now control of the settlement looks like it's about 50-50, the report says. In the village of Besalovka, the line of combat contact again coincides with the state border. That is, Russian forces were thrown back to their original positions. Moscow's attempts to advance in the Sumy direction intensified in early summer, but by mid-June, the offensive had stalled. Since then, the front has remained stable until the Ukrainian army began gradually pushing the enemy out of the occupied territories. The Russian armed forces have neither the strength nor the strategy to continue the offensive, and although the situation in the region remains tense, Ukraine is confidently seizing the initiative. Earlier reported that Putin's army is suffering heavy losses in the Sadikov area of Sumy region. Analysts from the Institute for the Study of War have voiced the situation in Sumy region. Putin's army fought in the northern Sumy region in the area of Yunakovka and Kondratovka. At the same time, Ukrainian defenders counterattacked enemy troops in the area of Andreyevka. One of the Russian war correspondents associated with the northern group of Russian forces complained about heavy losses in the ranks of Putin's army. As an example, he spoke about the military actions in the Sadikov area. As it turned out, after the Ukrainian armed forces retreated from Kursk region, Putin's army decided to install minefields there so that the Ukrainian defenders could not return again. As a result, now their own soldiers are being blown up by these mines. Moreover, the second significant reason for the large losses in Sumy region is friendly fire. Not long ago, the occupiers from the 137th Airborne Regiment and the 810th Marine Brigade engaged in a shootout with each other. Putin's army is also having trouble coordinating its own areas of responsibility. Many units are now competing to be the first to capture Sadki. Another Z channel wrote that a battalion of Kim's soldiers is moving from Rilsk towards Zvanoy. Allegedly, the North Koreans are now replacing Putin's troops in Kursk so that they have the opportunity to fight on Ukrainian territory. The Russian army encountered serious difficulties in the Sumy direction. The attempt at an offensive finally petered out. This is evidenced by reports from the Russian Z resource, Northern Channel, close to the Russian army. According to his report, Russian troops are still trapped in a cauldron in the Kondratovka area. Kondratovka, we don't control it, we just exist there. In a forest pocket in the south of the village, surrounded on 3 sides by Ukrainians, and on the 4th by a river, writes Z Channel. The occupiers' units were cut off from supplies in several settlements at once. In the village of Andreyevka, Ukrainian forces are slowly but surely crawling north, while the Russians remain without reinforcements. The situation is similar in Alexeyevka, where the occupiers of the 155th Brigade are holding the south of the village, in conditions in which not a mouse can slip through, let alone reinforcements. In the Yunakovka area, according to the authors, there is a constant change of control over the territory. The center and the west are changing hands. The channels paid special attention to the negligence of the command in Sadki. There, according to the Russians themselves, they gave up on demining, which led to the death of Russian soldiers and the loss of equipment. -2 motorcycles and the boys are gone, notes Severny Kanal. In Besalovka, according to the channel, Ukrainian troops allowed the Russian 56th Airborne Assault Brigade to advance only to previously prepared lines, after which they launched a counterattack. The result was heavy losses. Such honest, albeit unofficial rhetoric from Russian sources contrasts with statements from the Russian Defense Ministry, which continues to talk about progress and successes. Against the backdrop of obvious problems with logistics, manning and command, the war unleashed by Russia against Ukraine is plunging its army deeper into a state of systemic crisis.